30 years has passed since the passage of a new law defining discriminating against a disease illegal to do and is considered a civil rights violation. I just want to read from you. I want to read for you the opening paragraph of Skinny Bitch by Rory Friedman and Jim Barnanin. Chapter 1. Give it up. Okay, use your head. You need to get healthy if you want to get skinny. The first thing you need to do is give up your gross vices. Don't act surprised. You cannot keep eating the same shit and expect to get skinny or smoke. So don't even try some pathetic excuse. Like, but if I quit, I'll gain weight. Pathetic excuse. No one wants to hear it. Cigarettes are for losers. They're so 1989 and totally uncool. Not only do they screw up your whole body chemistry, but they also kill your taste buds. It's no wonder you eat shit and garbage. Smoking's out. Give it up. It is acceptable in society today, still, to discriminate against somebody's disease that they cannot help because they're addicted. Society stigmatizes and marginalizes the minority because the majority do not smoke. The issue here is a much larger one. It's an issue of privacy. The sentence, not only do they screw up your whole body chemistry, but they also kill your taste buds, speaks lightly of invasion of privacy. What difference does it make what somebody chooses to do with their own body? Why is somebody so concerned about that? In my situation, people have disguised themselves behind helping correct a problem that's actually not even there, and looking for something that's not even there. So it's interesting that society still has this problem when what some people are addicted to is the relentless ribbing or teasing or putting down of segments of people in the population over a social issue. We all need to get along. And what somebody does to their own body is not of anybody else's concern, if it's not impacting their life. I'm in a situation where what I've done in the past is cause for major dislike. And it's affected me greatly. If you want to know more, you can go to my currently not updated page on Facebook, Tiered Justice, Equity, and Equality. I am banned until the 27th of November because somebody called me crazy. And I responded in a way that was defending myself against an inflammatory statement. It is so important for people to understand how their words of prejudice affect other people. You wouldn't say things that are derogatory towards a person dying of cancer, would you? The disease of addiction is a rewiring of the brain. And there's a large group of people who have a major addiction to a program of surveillance. And it is an obsession of somebody else that is at the root of their disease. God did not give us any more perception than we're able to handle, because our brain is designed with a capacity to absorb what we absorb and understand our reality to exist within that realm. When you start augmenting it, you go from the human realm to a different realm altogether. The devil tool of remote neural monitoring gives the perception of God capabilities. And when you allow people in a position of authority to have control over that, we are walking a dangerous, dangerous cliff edge. Most are probably responsible for major violations of the Constitution, and they feel that it is okay. And nobody wants to speak up about this, and that's the problem. So it does not lie in the hands of the victims because they are silenced. It lies in the hands of those who are using something that gives them a disease, and it rewires their brain towards the pleasure center. There are some people that enjoy inflicting harm. It's not the way God intended us to be. We are to work on ourselves and to raise our spiritual awareness and understand that we are just one of a collective. And the higher our spiritual awareness, the more likely it is that forever you will live in the world that is invisible. Earth is a special place, and we have a very small amount of time, just a blip. But there's one thing that's for sure. What we say to each other and what we do affects others greatly. I'm in a situation where there is wanted harm to occur to me for two reasons: to protect themselves and to hate. And they have major amount of support. I have been working towards peaceful, nonviolent resolution because there is a conflict in the neighborhood that the police are not willing to recognize because they don't want to defend somebody with the disease of addiction. That's discrimination. And all my friends are under the impression that it's okay. I've been a minority as a gay man since I was 20 and came out to my fraternity brothers and campus at college and friends. I now sit before you today as a quadruple minority. Gay. I've been given a diagnosis of the disease of addiction, which does not qualify. But once you have the disease, you are always an addict. The whole world's an addict of something. A mental health diagnosis, which is inaccurate and not even reflective of my personality, though all my neighbors are looking for it and stalking me, looking for it, waiting for me to open my mouth outdoors so that they can run and call the police or net care. Yuck. And I'm a targeted individual. I have been targeted by the police and community over rumors and lies and a dislike of generalization. The real issue going on Midgard Road is an issue of invasion of privacy. I do not know where the source is. It's more than just electronic. It's cyber as well. And my devices and accounts are accessible to this group. And my neighborhood is caught up in a rumor mill, and there are sprinklings of confidential information floating all around. One example I'd like to give you has to do with my medical history. A woman in the neighborhood in a 911 call said that I smoke pot. And I do or did non-prescription opioids. There's no evidence to back up the pot statement because every single hospitalization and my entire life has no positive result for marijuana use, though I have gotten high in the past. The opioid thing, I'm very curious about, because the root of that falls squarely on an individual who illegally accessed my medical records to find out that I tested positive for opioids, and Suboxone, which is a replacement therapy drug for having an addiction to heroin. I've never been prescribed that because I am not an opioid user. I would not do that to my body. And it does create a degenerativeness of the brain. I'm smarter than that. But the belief that my brain is deteriorating has floated around my community. And a belief that I did opioids is not true. It's called attempted murder. It's an isolated incident. And the setup, this is how I know it was a setup. So whomever leaked it from the records knew that I was being drugged. So I was drugged with these two drugs to create a narrative to float around the community. What's very scary about that is being a victim of remote neural monitoring, there can be actual creation of retardation. I have 100% capacity, and I have documentation of that from Riverside Hospital on March 23rd, 2019, when I went in for intense ringing of my ears to the emergency room. And they went ahead and did a CAT scan to see if there was something lodged in my eardrum. Because while lying in bed, my eardrum ruptured and blood trickled down the side of my face. What makes an eardrum rupture? Waves of the electromagnetic spectrum that are purposefully aimed. So, believing in the invisible is very difficult for a lot of people. But you trust it for your television, for your radio, and even to change your channel. And to cook your food, and to use your cell phone. And Bluetooth, Wi-Fi. These are all invisible examples of things that really exist. They exist because they work, because we have an antenna to receive the signal, and that is what the human body is. There's a field around us that is an antenna, and we each are tuned to our own station. We have a unique station. The stealing of that signal strength by the military with radar has created a situation where somebody's body is accessible, and manipulation of it, and the receiving of information because of brain waves that are able to be picked up and then translated into something at the other end that gives the exact perception of the viewer, of the victim to the viewer. It's very real. And the cover-up is to make it all appear to be a mental illness. And I'll tell you what, my experience of not actually being a schizophrenic, but being called one and diagnosed as one, is a hell like no other. The society's perception that schizophrenia is a common illness is incorrect. 1% of the world population is schizophrenic, and it develops primarily before the age of 25. That's if you have it. I was given it at 45, and everybody believes it. Because a doctor, position of authority, said so. And the police, who created all of the trips and did not believe me because they didn't want to believe somebody with a history of drugs, has created a situation where they say, well, the professionals say. And then, when my friends call the police because I complain about them not helping me, the police tell my friends I had delusions. So all my friends believe that my story is made up. I've never been so offended in my life. And I work every day to get the police to understand they are wrong. And I get ignored. They're in denial. And the reason they're in denial is to protect themselves from liability and to protect people that want to hate. True story. More coming to you later. Because, thank God, I have freedom of speech. I might not have freedom of health. And the police could go ahead and fill me with more toxins and get me closer to an early death, which is attempted murder. Well, it's murder. They could do that. And as ignorant as they are, and as powerful as they are, they might do the stupid thing. Because I have the truth. We'll see what happens. Thank you for viewing, and give yourself a cookie. If it was beneficial to you to hear this information, please subscribe to my channel. I also have another channel, Robert Milligan Jr., that is currently banned for a week. And on Facebook, you can view my journal page of my struggle to get my rights restored and my freedom back at Tiered Justice, Equity, and Equality. Have a good day, and remember, make next week more in line with the commandments, because that is the way to everlasting